places. Fabric selection is quite important to get the effect that we require, or what I like to call our flamboyancy quotient. So a lot of these hand-dyed fabrics, some examples I have here for you, are my choice of colours. For this particular one, I have chosen these top three. The pattern comes like so. Just check your pattern. With this particular one, because it is asymmetrical, there is no need to reverse the image when we are tracing and transferring onto our background fabrics. For my background fabrics, I have a great preference for what I call shadow play. It is an interesting fabric that gives a lot of play to your work, a lot of movement, but without taking over from the other fabrics we've chosen to use. It is also a very heavy thread count in this fabric, which makes it very stable, therefore makes it very easy to transfer our pattern onto, and also stabilises any of the lighter fabrics that we might choose to use. The first thing we have to do in starting this project is to transfer our pattern onto our background fabric. You'll notice that most of the patterns will come just as a half, and they have a centre fold line on them. So we therefore need to find the centre fold line of our fabric. We do this, obviously, by folding in half and finger pressing in that direction. On this particular one, we have an intersection here. So we would therefore like to find a centre point. So we fold our fabric back the other direction and finger press again. We place our pattern on a light box, and over this light box we place our fabric, aligning our centre point up with the centre point on our pattern. It is important now to choose the correct marking tool to transfer this image onto our background fabric. My choice is what we call a micron pen, because it comes in a very fine point, but it's also archival safe. And we all like to think that our work is going to be still in existence and appreciated by a lot of people long after we've passed. So I do encourage people to use only the best equipment that they can buy, and this is where a trip to your friendly quilt store will always put you right on the very best things for the job at hand. Using my micron pen, I'm using a brown, which is a 01, and we just need to transfer this pattern onto our fabric. You might not see this very well, but we need a very fine line. And I do encourage you that when you are transferring patterns, to mark your patterns in short strokes like so, because that does not distort or drag your fabric. If you happen to do that, a big long thing, your fabric will move ahead of your pen and you will probably end up with an incorrect shape. As I said, I'm using micron pens, which I know are safe and are archival, but if you're going to choose some other form of marker, I suggest that you first, before you use it, try it on a little bit of your background fabric to see whether it's going to bleed or whether it's going to be too dark on your line. So now that we have transferred that onto our fabric, and I don't know if you can see, I've already done half of it for you. You can see where there are those very fine brown lines. So once we've transferred all of that, we are now ready to move on to our shapes.